Good morning, Professor.
Good morning, Professor Christian.
Welcome. On behalf of the Regional Center for International Debates in Toru and the Academy of Social and Media Culture in Toru, I'm very blessed to welcome a special guest from the University of Santo Tomas in Manila, Philippines. Professor Esguerra represents the oldest university in Southeast Asia. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself in a few words?
Okay, I'm Assistant Professor Christian Esguerra. I'm from the University of Santo Tomas in Manila. I teach political journalism, media ethics, and social communications. I'm also a practicing journalist for 22 years now.
Is this your first visit in Poland?
No, this is my third visit to Poland.
What are your impressions of your visit to Poland? What do you think about Poland?
I love your country, honestly. Before my first visit, I had known very little about the country. Everything I knew about the country was based only on books that we read in school during the Second World War, and also the books that I read, because I love that part of history, Second World War and the Cold War. So that's how I knew Poland. But then it was an entirely different experience when I actually got here. And thanks to your school and, of course, the Erasmus program, I was able to experience Poland. I love the food. I love the people. The weather, I love, just not during the height of winter. Because I experienced your winter. It was very cold for me.
What do you think about the city of Toru?
Wow, I love the city. This medieval city of Turun. We're also familiar back in the Philippines with Nicholas Copernicus, and I love your city, especially the Old Town Square. Everywhere you look, it's Instagrammable, but more than that, you could feel the culture of the people. People are very knowledgeable about their history, and again, also the food.
Your visit to Poland takes place thanks to the Erasmus Plus program. What do you think about that program?
It's very kind of the Erasmus program to actually facilitate this people-to-people exchange. This is very effective in terms of, and very important in terms of bridging two cultures, exchanging ideas, even research collaborations and academic engagements. This will definitely bear fruit, not just in the short term, but definitely in the long term. So I'm happy that our institutions are linked because of the Erasmus program.
For many years, the University of Santo Tomas in Manila and the Academy of Social and Media Culture in Toru have been cooperating in the field of academic exchange, joint research, publications, and participation in conferences. How do you evaluate the level of cooperation with the university in Toru?
It's at a very it's in a very good situation right now, but we can still improve on that. It can only get better. It's already good now. It can only get better.
One of the most important problems, one of the most serious problems of our times is the war in Ukraine. Poland has accepted many refugees. What is the Filipino point of view on the ongoing aggression by Russian troops on Ukrainian territory?
Any peace-loving person would know who's in the right and who's in the wrong in this conflict. That's why many of us in journalism in the Philippines, we're very careful with the term. We don't just use the Ukraine war. We say it's the Russian invasion. In my case, especially during the early weeks of that invasion, I used to call it Putin's invasion, to separate the Russian people from Vladimir Putin. And one thing that is quite curious is that early on, there was also this effort to spread disinformation in favor of Putin back in the Philippines, and even link that to our president, at that time, President Rodrigo Duterte, because our president then established this closer relations with Putin's Russia. Now, in terms of the war itself, it's very unfortunate. This is 2022. This is not how you settle disputes, and Filipinos could look through the propaganda of the Russian propaganda machine. We know who's telling the truth, who's lying. We know who's trying to control the conversation. We know that invasion should not have happened. And if there were problems, let's say linked to ethnicity, language, culture, because Putin subscribed to the idea that Ukraine is Russia. Okay, so if that was his point of view, that should have been settled in other ways, but definitely not by bombing cities, killing people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Christian.